Thank you for joining us. I'm so glad it worked out despite all the, technical issues and all the things. So, so happy to have you today.
I'm happy to be here. I am honored to be here and happy to be here because, yeah, we had a lot of problems. I imagined that I could make it, but in the end, I sent the movie and I'm really happy. Yeah, as you can see, I have an English teacher, and then he told me sometime, Rafael, we speak fluently, but fluently wrong. But yeah, that's
Yeah, and it's complete. The measure of success is, can people understand you, right? I mean, like, that's
yeah.
the only, yeah. So the thing is, so we were, many of us were in Ghent at the same time, and me and Margaret and Rafael met in Ghent last year, and that's where we saw this talk, and I really wanted to be able to, for us to share that experience with other folks around the globe and other folks in Chicago. And when you first submitted the talk, I envisioned you being here with us in person and getting to experience the city as well. But I guess we'll have to table that for next year. I do kind of want to refer to all the obstacles that you had to overcome. Like, sometimes being in the US, we forget about how difficult this can be around the globe to grow a community, to function without sponsors, to have completely different regulations to deal with and stuff like that. And I know you mentioned many of these things in your talk. To you personally, what was the biggest thing that you had to overcome during that first year?
No, yeah, definitely. Because my impression that the DevOps community, DevOps culture here is not only, definitely not only about the technology. When you build this community, we did more than that. Our focus was never a tool technology only. The part that we interact with technology is the part that we can offer a better opportunity to people can have a better jobs. And this is completely different that we had before in Brazil, because since we know that we saw that normally the good event happens on the south, on the big cities, and when we start to do that in the new cities, in the new place in the north, in northwest, we start to change the situation of for the people, not only the technology to the people, because our most important thing in the DevOps community here in Brazil is help the people, then the market, the technology, and so on.
I know other parts of DevOps are big about metrics and gathering numbers. Do you track people who've had great career success because of DevOpsDays? Do you have numbers?
I don't have numbers right now, but I can get these. But if I have one really good history from Salvador. Salvador is my city, is the first capital of Brazil. But now we are in the northwest, the poor region, then south, right? And then we had the first DevOps days here in Salvador, and then we had one guy, young guy. He started to work as a developer, and then when he attended these first DevOps days in Salvador, he told me then, man, it's unbelievable. The level of these events is so great. We never had these here in Salvador and so on. And then in the next year, he submitted a talk and he was sharing how the change he made in his company was his first job, and he had the opportunity to get this information because these DevOps days. And then we changed his job, we changed his life, and then he had opportunity to do something different that in the other case, in the past, he need to pay expensive travel bills to attend a good event in another place. Yeah, I always there talk how good it is to have a good event in the outside the big centers is about that, to offer this level of events to new people and offer new opportunities.
So this is so important to me because when you first spoke about this, how sort of people outside of Brazil tend to focus on São Paulo and Rio and kind of disregard every other city in Brazil. And Brazil is giant, right? Or if we talk about South America, it's really, a huge place that's a continent with lots of people, and there's lots of different cities with IT centers and jobs and people who need a community and education. And from the outside of it, no one ever sends a speaker to a small city in Brazil and something like that. And so I think I personally have become an advocate for, hey, we should go to this small city in Brazil or in Chile or whatever, because yes, there's a community there and it's important that we are part of it. And this is also like something I'm personally very familiar with, right? Because I'm from Ukraine, and Ukraine, again, is a big country, and people only know Kiev and maybe one other city, and it's kind of like all the reference in the conversation is only to the capital. And like, yeah, there's 50 million people in the country. We can talk about some more than that. So one question that came in from the chat is, were companies in Brazil asking for DevOps adoption, or was it really the people that were driving the adoption?
We had both case, right? In the past, when we started, we had both case. Some companies already started to do something, and then they were looking for people to do that. But in that time, I didn't remember if we already have the DevOps as a role. I didn't see that in the past. But I saw that both cases. Most of them are trying to do something without the knowledge, without the skills. And then they realized that DevOpsDays could be this place that we can find good people to hire. And then we started to focus on that. Oh, we are here is a good opportunity to hire people, and then to the attendees, oh, it's a good opportunity to have a good job. And then we started to do this. But this is one big difference from the DevOps Days, even in the DevOps Days community. When we started that, we didn't have any problem to convince the good speakers from the DevOps community to travel to small cities. This is not a problem, because in the other events it's really tough, because the people, oh, how many attendees do we have? It's so small community, I won't do that. No, here we have the opposite. We had a lot of speakers that they are ready to attend events on the small cities than the big cities. Normally it's the opposite. And then when we build this community, we create this idea to help each other, to help other cities. We create that list that I mentioned in the talk. We create a list of speakers that the company can pay the travel, and yeah, it's completely different. And because of it, we can help the company and can help the people to be hired too.
You've started so many groups, at least 16 in Brazil. What's your advice for starting the very first event? What's the first thing to do?
The first thing to do is ask Somatori's help. Because Somatori is my friend. Somatori helped all the DevOps days too, and then all the time that people reach me to help them, okay, I ask back, please ask Somatori help too. You need it. And but I think here in Brazil, normally the first advice that I normally give to the people is baby step. Don't try to do a big event. It's not like that. The DevOps Day is not about to have too many people. No, it's not about that. The idea of DevOps Days is share knowledge on the local community. Try to do that. If you have just 10 people, 15 people, that's okay. Your goal is share knowledge, and then we try to do that, and then it's worked well, because we didn't have any DevOps Days in Brazil that didn't have the full attended. We sold all the DevOps Days at least 2 weeks before the DevOps Days happened here in Brazil. Nice. Yeah, so we never had open tickets in the day of the DevOps Days.
So it's really interesting. Like, I love that you're talking about that participant experience and how important it is. Just like, never mind how many people you actually bring to the event. It's something that I think, when we first started doing DevOps Days events, it was really hard to explain to companies. And there were many companies who wouldn't sponsor and wouldn't talk and wouldn't, kind of didn't think that the metrics were good enough for an event like this. But it really is core, the ability to bring the local community together and the ability to discuss things. And I think that's where impact happens, right? Because you go to a big conference, you kind of get lost in that. There's 50,000 sessions with many topics that are not particularly relevant to you. And you come to DevOps Days and you kind of feel part of the community and able to actually discuss your work experiences with the company right next door. I think this also, just sharing that experience for this year, like this was a tough decision to go virtual, right? Because we had to think through, and we looked at, 5 different virtual platforms for holding this, and we were trying to find one that would allow people to actually connect and discuss and have the like as similar as possible an experience to what we do in real life. And I know this wasn't a question. Sorry, I'm just sharing the DevOps Day Chicago experience as well.
Now that you talk about the companies, I remember something. My second advice was, don't expect money for the companies. Don't expect that. If you have it, that's fine. It will be good. We can buy new good things. You can buy t-shirt and then you can share. We did this a lot. We started without any money, and then we received one sponsor, and then okay, now we can buy some t-shirts, and we bought. And then we received more money. Okay, now we can have a better coffee break, and then we did it. And we did like that, because if you expect too many monies from the companies, we need to follow his rules. When the thing that we try to don't do, it's like something like that. We're following the DevOps Days community rule, not the company's rule, not the market rules. Because of that, we try to do something smaller, something really simple, and then we can grow when we receive money. Because normally we had this a lot in Brazil when it started. And when we started, we went to the company, and then the company, oh, okay, but in the end, I need the list of the person that attended the company, the events, and then I told, no, it's not possible. I won't tell you that. I won't tell you how many people you had. I won't give you the list. And then the people, okay, I don't want it. Okay, I don't want it to. I don't need you here. It's you ask me to sponsor, and then this is my rule. This was the most important thing that we have here, to remove the dependence of money, to a big amount of money. Because if you wanna follow your ethical rule, we need to understand that we won't follow the market rule, won't follow the unethical rule too. Yeah, that was the biggest thing that we need to handle in the beginner. Understand that we can do it. When we did the first DevOps Days here in Salvador without any money, no money at all. And when we finished, I realized, man, we can do DevOps Days in any city of Brazil, no matter where, no matter how far we had. Let's do it. And then we create a kind of framework to create a new events on the place. And then in the next year, the DevOps Days just increased a lot. We had a lot of DevOps Days around Brazil because these events. Because of that, I just mentioned this in my talk, because was that point that I realized that is completely possible to do that.
It's interesting actually to me, because we often feel disempowered to do certain things. We're like, oh, we don't have the money, we don't have the leadership buy-in, we don't have the authority and title and whatever. Like, I can't do this because X, Y, and Z, and so many obstacles. But your experience really shows that we could do this. Like, it is completely possible, as long as you have like-minded people to pull it off, just by investing a little bit of time and a little bit of effort and bringing it all together. And again, once you have success, once you show success, then people come to you and solve sort of the challenges for you as well.
Yeah, I have one experience on that. In the first year, I had one company that I won't tell a name here for sure. And then I saw some comments from this company that, oh no, it's a really small event. I won't care. I won't sponsor. I won't send any speaker or any attendee to these events. Okay. In the next year, he asked me to be a sponsor because he saw how big we did, what the thing that we did here in Salvador, all the speakers that we have, all the knowledge that we shared, everything that we did without money. And then, oh, how can I sponsor you? Okay, come here. But yeah, and in the first year, we needed to show to everyone that it's completely possible. Because in the end, the point is not about money. In the end, the point is really about the knowledge. Because when I started to do that, the people didn't understand and didn't believe me. I was doing that. I was doing about the shared knowledge, not about money, not about anything else. And then when the people realize that, the people say, "Oh my God, I will do that. I will do that." Because when I in the past I tried to share a lot of people to do DevOps days around the Brazil, and then I told, "Okay, if you need my help, please ask me." And then the people, "No, I don't believe it's not possible. Someone that don't receive any money will help me without anything back." Yeah, that's true.
It's so obvious you're so enthusiastic about DevOps Days and making these events possible. Like, that's clearly another key reason that all of Brazil and South America have done so well. Like, I'm just excited talking to you about it. How do you keep the personal attitude going? Like, this is great, it's gonna be great, I can help you.
Yeah, because when we started, I realized that this is possible to keep the community as we think it, as we thought, right? When we started with the idea of community as being something like to help each other and so on, and then when we realized that we found a lot of people that are thinking the same way than me, and the other people that started to do that, because I didn't start this in Brazil. I had a lot of people before me, and then when they started, they showed me that that's possible. We have a lot of people that can share that, right? And then I realized that this is a true thing. It's not a lie, because the people normally when saw something in altruist like that, the people say that the people think that, oh no, it's not possible. There is some money involved and so on. No, it's not. It's completely community stuff, because I am from from free software community. I'm from Linux community, and we had that in the past, right? We knew that it's possible, and then we just did this again, but with something related more to culture than technology, because DevOps community now is more like that. In Linux somehow it's kind of mixed, right? And now the DevOps is more like that. It's more about the people than community than technology.
We're almost at time, but I'm going to squeeze one more question in, and that is, do you think the move to like the virtual conferences is a good thing? Because like maybe it helps save money, and maybe it's easier to pull it off without the need to travel. But on the other hand, obviously we have a totally different experience here.
Yeah, I don't know, because here in Brazil, the good things to have the conference is to have something in person, right? To meet someone in person, then have this experience. Until now, we didn't have a good experience on doing that remotely. We didn't have until now here in Brazil. But I think we are keep trying to do that. But I don't have opinion, because I didn't have a good experience yet. Besides this one that I really enjoy here, and I'm trying to learn with you other things that you're doing, to then we can share to other DevOps days. But yeah, but this year in Brazil is really tough year. It's not only about pandemics, about politicians, about all the things that are happening. And then I think the Brazilian people now don't have, I don't know, they don't have mind to do something. And because of that, I'm not trying to push anyone to do that. Everybody is busy. There's a lot of things happening right now, handling the things. And if you can do it, okay, I can try to help you. If not, that's not a problem. We can do this again next year.
Meet people where they're at. Makes sense. So we are at time. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really enjoyed having you here, and of course we're going to continue chatting on Discord.